What is going on, YouTube? UFC Seattle, Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer just took place, and I'm gonna give you all my entire reaction to the card, my breakdown of it. Let's start right away. Alexa Thainara versus Bruna Brazil. I'm gonna go through this one right away. I'm sure you don't care about this. I don't either. Alexia Thainara basically swarmed Bruna Brazil. She was just in her face the entire time, landing shots, getting takedowns. Bruna Brazil was landing good kicks. She was landing good body kicks and such. But she was really just getting walked down, tagged up, pieced a little bit, and then she would get out-clinched against the cage. Alexia Thainara was landing better knees to the body. She was landing better elbows. She was just outworking, out-dogging Bruna Brazil. And I believe this is Alexia Thainara's only loss was in the past to Bruna Brazil. I might be wrong. But good win for Alexia Thainara. Just your typical women's 30-27 fest. She was clearly better than Bruna Brazil, and she clearly had that dog in her more than Bruna Brazil did. So that was that. Moving on, though. Ricky Simón versus Adrian Yanez. Adrian Yanez making his return after a 14-month layoff against Ricky Simón, who I fucking hate. But I'm going to be as unbiased as I can during my assessment of this fucking fight because it's insane. The winner of this fight, no one. It was a majority draw, as you can see. Round one, Adrian Yanez is outlanding Ricky Simón in every aspect of the fight. Every straight that Adrian Yanez threw was landing. His cross was landing every time, and he was nowhere to be hit for the big shots from Ricky Simón. Round one goes to Adrian Yanez 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, round one goes to Adrian Yanez. He was landing in better shots. He was out of range just enough for Ricky Simón to, like, when he was trying to go in for a takedown, he couldn't get it. He couldn't even really get his hands on Adrian Yanez. And Yanez kept popping his head back with straights down the pipe. I wonder what the stats were. Wow, these stats were way closer than I thought they were. Adrian Yanez landed the better strikes in round one, for sure. He outlanded them 12-16, as you can see. He landed the better strikes. Round two, it's more of a back and forth affair. Round one was more Yanez. Round two was more of a back and forth affair. I gave it to Ricky Simón. It's 1-1. Round three, I don't think it was a 10-8 at all. I do not think round 8 was a 10-8, but round 8 was Adrian Yanez's best round. He was just outworking, doing everything to Ricky Simón. He was landing good jabs, landing good 1-2s. It was bloodying up Ricky Simón's face. And then the last 10 seconds, he dropped Ricky Simón and almost finished him. But he got saved by the bell. I just described to you a 29-28. It could have been a 30-27. Excuse me. Two judges gave Ricky Simón rounds 1 and 2. And then they gave round 3 a 10-8. Shouldn't have happened that way, but that's what happened. One judge gave Ricky Simón the first 2 rounds and gave Adrian Yanez a 10-9 in the third round. So it ended up being a majority draw. That was one of the worst pre-written scorecards I've ever seen in my life. Clearly, the loser of that fight was Ricky Simón. There's no doubt in my mind about that. He just completely robbed Adrian Yanez. And Ricky Simón looked like he was on roids during this fight, for sure. I'm not going to lie. But Adrian Yanez, off the long layoff, clearly outworks, outstrikes, knocks down, and almost finishes Ricky Simón across 3 rounds. It was one of the biggest robberies I've ever seen in my life. It was like one of those Volkov-Cyril Gane type robberies where I literally tweeted out, like, Adrian Yanez just put the fucking beats on Ricky Simón. And as I'm scrolling through my timeline, because it's like I don't even have to listen to this decision because I know what's going to happen, I hear majority draw. I literally said, what? Insane. Good performance for Adrian Yanez. Ricky Simón looked shit. He was hittable as fuck the entire time. Couldn't land a real takedown. and he's dog shit. I hate him. Moving on, though. Navajo Sterling versus Bruno Lopez. I am not the biggest fan of Navajo Sterling's strike of his game. I'm just not. Round one, I mean, this was a punching bag for Navajo Sterling. Bruno Lopez was supposed to be a punching bag layup for Navajo Sterling. Bruno Lopez came out, wasn't really throwing proper, like he wasn't really trying to throw anything to hurt Navajo Sterling. It was just more of a punching bag situation where Navajo wasn't really looking as sharp as he needed to be. He didn't finish the fight like I wanted him to finish it, which was before round two. He like, I don't know, because it's going to sound like I'm hating and I'm really not. His strikes, like all the CKB guys strike a certain way. They got like this moxie to their striking. Volk's not a CKB guy, but he trained there for a little bit. He was a guest there. But Izzy's got that nice flow to him. Carlos Oberg has that little flow to him. Navajo Sterling is like a robot, but he's not a systematic robot. He doesn't throw out those shots where it's like snappy go. It's more like his jab is so loose, and then the two is what's straight, but he throws a two like this and then brings it back. It's just, I'm not a fan of his game. I'm not a fan of his game at all, and I think he could be taken advantage of against a higher level striker, like any level above Bruno Lopez, who was, again, just the punching bag for him. Didn't really do much in the first round. There wasn't much going on. Bruno was trying to shoot him for takedowns, getting stuffed. Navajo was kind of lackadaisical with his takedown defense, but he didn't get taken down, so it doesn't matter. But round two comes. Navajo hits Bruno Lopez with a good straight right down the pipe, and he like stuns Bruno Lopez up against the cage. He's all up against the cage. Navajo's like taking his time, trying to not go crazy on the finish, but also not fumble the finish. So he's hitting him with straight shots, and then ends up getting on top of him and just raining down elbows and punches to where the ref could have stopped it at some point. I think this was the fight. This was the fight where Keith Peterson was the ref for this fight, and Dominic Cruz was on the broadcast saying, "Man, I wish I got this. I wish I got this treatment for my fight," like a fucking bitch. But good win for Navajo Sterling. Called out Iwan Cutelaba. I don't think he'll beat Cutelaba whatsoever at all. I think Cutelaba will be too aggressive for him, trying to grapple him and shit. But he did what he was supposed to do. I'll just say that. Moving on, though. Casey O'Neill versus Gabriela Fernandez. Casey O'Neill's been out of the octagon 4 months. She's been out of the octagon for years, I think. It's been like August 2024 or some shit. Casey O'Neill, with her freakishly long limbs, basically walks forward against Gabriela Fernandez, and she clips her on the chin. Like, this happens, I mean, look, 3-minute KO. She clips Gabriela Fernandez on the chin. Boom. Gabriela Fernandez backs up against the cage, and Casey O'Neill just tees off on her, standing TKO. Just boom, boom, boom. And then one shot just hit, boom, right on the jaw, and Gabriela Fernandez she got hit. Her head bounced off against the cage, and she just like that. And the ref stepped in. Flatline KO, basically, for Casey O'Neill. Flatline KO for Casey O'Neill. Great win. Great return for Casey O'Neill. There's not much to talk about for this fight. There wasn't much going on at all. It was literally like dancing on the outside. We're women's MMAing it up, throwing a few strikes or two, and then Casey O'Neill's walking forward, hits her with a straight shot down the pipe, stuns Gabriela, and then finishing sequence up against the cage. Great win for Casey O'Neill. Hopefully she can get right back in there because she didn't take any damage at all, and that's it. Marcin Tybura versus Tyrell Fortune. I'm not going over this fight much. This fight was dog shit. Um, the big moment in round one was Tyrell. They first of all, they were out of range with each other in their heavyweights, by the way. So they're all 6 foot plus, 260. They were out of range with each other for the entirety of the first minute of the first round. And then Tyrell Fortune just decided, fuck it, I'm about to grapple. And rugby tackled Marcin Tybura and just like kind of threw him down and had him just hammer fisting him to the side of the head. That was really Tybura gets up. They're striking with each other, marginal striking. Tyrell Fortune, obvious clear round one. Round two, I thought Tybura got round two. He was landing good front kicks to the body, even though they were like good for his standards. He was landing good front kicks to the body. He was landing a bunch of he was just landing the better shots to me. It was shit striking. It was shit. But he was landing the better shit. And round three was dog shit. The big thing about this fight, it was a clear Tyrell Fortune win. I thought it was 29-28 clear. But the big thing about this fight was Bruce Buffer read off 29-28, 29-28, and 30-27 for your winner by unanimous decision, Marcin Tybura. He read off Tybura's name as if Tybura had won the fight, and he did not. So as Tybura's sitting there like, yeah, I won, yeah. Tyrell Fortune's walking off. He's almost damn near backstage. And Bruce Buffer has to call everybody back in and like, all right, chill. And it was so obvious that he had read off the wrong scorecard because the commentary was almost radio silent that entire time. They were like, because they know who's won the fight. The commentary was just silent, like, I don't know if you did that right. So Bruce calls them in. Tyrell gets read off because everybody thought it was a robbery at first because it would have been if Tybura had won, especially 30-27. But Tyrell Fortune gets his win in his UFC debut. Shit performance. Pretty dog shit. He's dog shit. Lance Gibson Jr. versus Chase Hooper. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I can't take Chase Hooper seriously as a UFC fighter. I just can't. I think he needs to go join UFC BJJ. Because he's not a fighter, man. Chase Hooper's not a fighter. He seems like a really good guy. Chase Hooper seems like a really, really good guy that like trains BJJ. I feel like I see Chase Hooper with Guion at my MMA gym. Seriously, I go to my MMA gym. I go to jiu-jitsu class. I see Chase Hooper. He's like a fucking a purple belt. He's like a 4-stripe purple belt, about to get his brown belt. And it's like super smiley. And he's the one that the instructor is doing he's like the instructor's dummy because he's so good. He's like the best one in the class. So he's the instructor's dummy. And then everybody's like, instructor sends everybody off to drill and all of that. And Chase Hooper is just like teaching the younger guys what to do. That's how I imagine Chase Hooper. He is not an MMA fighter. Lance Gibson Jr. looked night and day better than him on the feet. Chase Hooper was throwing really, really like ugly body kicks out there. He was just kind of flailing his limbs out there. And Lance Gibson Jr., who's not that good himself, was really tight with his striking. He was tight with every single thing that he threw. And he kind of just walked towards Chase Hooper. Or he just kind of let Chase Hooper walk toward him because he knew that if I land on this motherfucker, I know I can land on this motherfucker. I know I can hit him just from the way he's striking. Chase Hooper's success came at range with a couple of strikes, but he didn't get to land much. This fight ended quickly before the 3-minute mark. Hooper goes in to like get a collar tie or like threaten a takedown. I don't know what he was trying to do, but they were in the clinch, and I think it must have been a collar tie because Lance Gibson Jr. just hits like an elbow to the side of Chase Hooper's head. It wasn't even like a turned over elbow. It was like a quick little check you, and he just boom right on the temple of Chase Hooper, like on the side of his head. And Chase is like all falling to the side and shit. He falls to the ground. And he like falls to the ground to where he's like kind of look like he just corpsed. And Gibson Jr. just walks up, kicks him in the head. Hooper pops up, and then he gets hit with a punch, I think, falls down, and immediately the ref jumps on it to stop the fight. Horrible stoppage. But I mean, from the optics, you just got wobbled by an elbow. He just kicked you hard as fuck. Like he just threw a fucking roundhouse kick to your face as you're slouched over, and then he drops you, and then he's about to rain down punches. The ref stepped in. Shitty stoppage, but he was going to get finished anyway. Lance Gibson Jr. gets a win. I mean, maybe he's not so bad after all. He went split decision with Bobby Green. KO's Chase Hooper. Maybe he's not the worst after all. He is pretty bad, but maybe he's not the worst. Moving on, though. This fight. Ignacio Bahamondes taking on Tafik Musayev. Ignacio Bahamondes in round one was piecing up Tafik Musayev, however you say his name. He was piecing Tafik up. He landed every single strike at will. He was finding his straight down the pocket. He wasn't really throwing much kicks because he didn't have to. Every time he would land a straight or throw a straight, it would land right on Tafik. And so much so that Tafik was kind of like wilting on the back foot. Didn't really start landing clean shots himself until the last like 40 seconds. He threatened a couple takedowns, didn't get any. Round one is a clear Ignacio Bahamondes. Clear. It's like clear. You look like what you're supposed to be doing. You look like you're better than Tafik. Round two happens. In the first 22 seconds, I want to say something like that, Ignacio fakes the one, throws the right hand straight down the jaw or straight down the pipe on the jaw of Tafik Musayev. Tafik goes up against the cage. Ignacio is hitting him. Now he's got him up against the cage. Tafik is facing the cage. Ignacio has like one grip under the hip, one grip punching, left hand punching, right hand on the hip. You know that position. Punching him. Goes for a takedown. Tafik Musayev grabs the cage horribly. He horribly grabs the cage. He was holding onto the cage for at least 3 seconds. And the referee did not do a damn thing about it. He literally stopped the takedown from happening while being wobbled to the point where he almost got dropped by that right hand. He was clearly stunned and wobbled from the right hand. Grabs the cage to stop the takedown. So he doesn't get taken down. And Ignacio just wastes his energy trying to take him down. Didn't get it. So then Tafik gets to turn around and kind of like pummel his way to like he's about to shoot a takedown. And stupidly, here, I'm going to put these on just so I can fucking throw them again. Stupidly, Ignacio Bahamondes jumps a guillotine. Why are you jumping guillotines in the big 2026? Why? Why are you jumping the ghillie in 2026? Ignacio jumps the guillotine in 2026, an arm-in guillotine at that. And of course, he doesn't fucking get it. Of course he doesn't. Why would you get it? Tafik ends up on top, lands a slicing elbow. It was so slicing to the point, it like went, the cut went from here all the way down here on Ignacio's face to the point where mid like ground and pound, we're like, oh, the doctor's gonna stop this. There was so much blood, it looked like someone dropped a blood donation just in the corner of the octagon because it was so bloody from that one spot. Tafik's just raining down shots for the next 3 minutes on Ignacio Bahamondes because he's on bottom. He's trying to throw up submissions. He tried to throw up a triangle. He tried to get an armbar, but Tafik just shakes it off, and he's just back to landing on top. And Ignacio couldn't get up because he was up against the cage. Like, his back was against the cage while he's being squished because he's getting elbowed and all of that. And in this exchange, not exchange, but while Tafik is elbowing and punching, he fucking headbutts Ignacio Bahamondes. It was such a bitch-made cheating performance from Tafik. And he wins that round. And in round 3, he kind of just wet blankets. Not kind of. He just wet blankets Ignacio until the last minute. And Ignacio reverses. He takes the back. Instead of just going for ground and pound and trying to steal the round, he goes for a rear naked choke, doesn't get it because he's tired, and he spent all his energy reversing the position. It was just so dumb. But what's the point in having replays if you can't go reverse if you can't take a point away, if you can't disqualify somebody? Grabbing the cage that egregiously, it was like almost as bad as Jose Aldo's versus Chad Mendes. It was one of those type of cage grabs. He grabbed the cage and then ended up on top and then headbutted Ignacio. I hate the sport. Not a good win. And now this sets Ignacio all the way back. Moving on now. Terrence McKinney versus Kyle Nelson. The fakest fight I've ever seen in my life. The fakest fight I've ever seen in my life. Ever. The fakest fight I've ever seen in my life was Terrence McKinney versus Kyle Nelson. This fight was 24 seconds. Terrence McKinney runs across the octagon in front of Kyle Nelson, walks him backwards, throws a 1-2 or throws just a 2 that I don't even think landed. I honestly don't think it landed at all. He throws a 2. Kyle Nelson's shielding up. He's covering up. Terrence McKinney throws a knee. The knee lands on the chest of Kyle Nelson. It wasn't even a jab. It wasn't even 2. Terrence McKinney landed a jab on Kyle Nelson. Kyle Nelson is going backwards. Terrence McKinney lands a knee to the chest. And then on the way back, while Kyle Nelson is walking backwards, Terrence McKinney throws a rear head kick. And it literally, this is Terrence McKinney's foot. This is Terrence McKinney's foot. I'm Kyle Nelson. The kick goes like this. It goes just like this. It hits the fucking arm. The arm of Kyle Nelson. And Kyle Nelson falls to the ground like he just got headshot dead. Terrence McKinney just falls up with ground and pound. Kyle Nelson has no urgency to move. He has no problem just getting TKO'd. It was so fake. Look at this. Look at this. Hold on. It was so fake. My boss said that fight was fixed. Out of nowhere. I hadn't talked to him all day. My boss texted me, this fight is fixed, because it was fucking fixed. Everyone in their fucking mother knew that head kick did land. So much so that they showed the opposite angle because they thought that he had landed the head kick. And then they didn't show that angle for the rest of the replays. They showed the angle where it looked like he landed the head kick. He didn't land a head kick. It was so fake. Moving on. Yusri Belgari takes on Mansour Abdul Malik. I told y'all about Yusri. I've been talking to people. I've been telling people about Yusri for years. I've been watching Yusri since he was in kickboxing, since he was in Glory. I've been watching Yusri. I told people about him when he went on Dana White's Contender Series. I told people about him when he fought Azamat Bakolev, and I was arguing with Azamat himself and his fans that Uzuri was going to fucking destroy him. Uzuri is a killer. A killer. Sorry. Uzuri is a fucking killer. Uzuri went out there. First of all, I was perfect in my analysis of this fight. Mansour Abdul-Malik is so one-dimensional. Him and Ateba Gutierrez have the similar fighting style. They have similar everything. They're both big, black, buff powerhouses who have a double leg, who have an overhand right, and don't really have much else to their game. My analysis of this fight was perfect. I said Uzuri was going to win by late third rounds KO or decision. He won by late third round KO decision. But let's go through how he did it. Round 1 starts. Uzuri is chopping low, and he's chopping low so much so that it hurts me. He's chopping low, and he's like, it didn't matter what Mansour Abdul-Malik was doing because he wasn't checking early enough. When Uzuri is throwing, first of all, I don't know what the game plan was for Mansour. He's out there with at Extreme Couture. They're fucking stupid over there. He came out throwing like oblique kicks, but he wasn't throwing them like he really wanted to do some damage. He was kind of just stabbing at Uzuri's knee. Uzuri wasn't there. He like went to check it. The first one Malik threw, Uzuri went to check it, so he like lifted up so it didn't hurt. But Uzuri was chopping low. He was throwing the outside low kick. It was hurting. And he was throwing it like, I don't even know how to describe it. Mansour Abdul-Malik would go to check it, and it would still hurt him because Uzuri was just going shin to shin with him every time. He would just throw it. If you don't check, if you do check, we're going shin to shin, and the shit's going to hurt you like a motherfucker. Mansour Abdul-Malik would switch stances. Uzuri tried to go inside one time, but that was really it. But orthodox to orthodox, Malik was getting his leg chopped up, and that was much of the first round. The first round was spent Uzuri getting his jab off and throwing low. I don't know how many shots. I mean, you can see he landed 16 shots. In the first round, he only landed 7. 7 in the first round. He was getting schooled by a jab and a low kick. That's all. Uzuri probably landed 11, 12 low kicks in the first round itself. It just by itself in the first round, just outside low kick, outside low kick, outside low kick, jab, outside low kick, outside low kick. The crowd was booing. Uzuri was like, not running, but he was like around on the back foot. It was round 1 early. He's not about to give this powerhouse a chance to KO him just to prove a point to the audience. No. He was moving around on the outside, chopping low, jabbing, moving. That's what you're supposed to do against somebody like Mansour Abdul-Malik. Round 2, Uzuri's finding it, and Mansour Abdul-Malik is feeling it. He's kicking low now, and when he kicks low, Mansour takes a wayward step, and he's like, my shit's hurting. So he switched stances. Uzuri goes shin to shin with him. So he's like switching back and forth from southpaw to orthodox to try to hide his leg and not get kicked in it because he's not checking them right. And even when he's checking them, Uzuri just like wasn't caring. He was just chopping low. I know I sound like Joe Rogan, but that's how he destroyed Mansour Abdul-Malik, was chopping low. And then he just started getting his combinations going. He was coming upstairs. He was going to the body with kicks. Was he? Not often. His body kicks weren't landing often, but he started putting real estate upstairs now. So he was hitting the body, then going upstairs with straight hooks and twos and hooks to the body, left hooks to the body. It was a great display. And at the very end of the round, he lands a right hook as Mansour Abdul-Malik is coming around. He just walks into a right hook, drops him, almost finishes him, but the bell sounds off. They get up. Round 3 starts, and round 2 was such a beating that they should have just thrown the towel in. Like, there was no way Mansour Abdul-Malik was going out there like he was going to win the fight. Round 3, Uzuri's also somewhat gassed, but not as gassed as Mansour. Mansoor goes out there and he doesn't have a game plan at that point. He tries to shoot a couple takedowns. Oh, the takedowns before he like did a good double leg, but earlier on in the fight he got a good double leg, but Usry got up. He got up from every takedown that was shot, or he just stuffed it. There wasn't much like grappling going on. It was Mansoor shooting and Usry stuffing it most of the time. But round 3 was just destruction from Usry. Usry was landing knees to the face, knees to the body. He was landing all of his punches. He didn't really chop low that round because he didn't have to. At a certain point, he made it a point to invest into the body, so he would go hard straight to the body. And like, him and Alex have similar fighting styles. They don't, but they do. They do 1,000%. They wear you down with those jabs. They're bringing those jabs down to the body in round 1 to make you thinking. They are jabbing the body in round 1 to have you thinking so they can come upstairs with some dangerous shit, and that's what Usry did. And for the finishing sequence, he just walks towards Mansoor Abdul Malik, brings the knee upstairs, boom, knee right on the chin, and Mansoor has had enough. He took enough damage. I was surprised he lasted on his feet that long anyway, but great performance for Usry Belgari. I'm so glad he's got a fan base. He's a great dude. He's a down-to-earth, humble dude, and he's a great fighter. He's always been a great fighter. I'm really glad that Usry is sprouting right now. And I don't know who you give him next at middleweight. Shara Bullet? Nah. Roman Dolidze, Marvin Vettori. Ooh, give him Marvin Vettori. Give him Marvin Vettori. Let him fight Marvin Vettori. They put him up against 2 heavy-hitting, knockout, like explosive, dynamic type fighters, prospects, as his first 2 fights in the UFC. Give him a layup. Give him Marvin Vettori. Give him Roman Dolidze. Give him Shara Bullet. You know, somebody that'll put him on the map or give him a rank. Oh, shit. Ooh. I'm sorry. Somebody that'll give him a ranking, but not propose too much damage. Moving on, though. Julian Erosa versus Le'Veon Douglas. I love Le'Veon Douglas. I love him. He's one of my 10 favorite fighters now. I love him. He walks forward. He was walking forward on Julian Erosa, chopping low. He threw about 7 low kicks, and some of them were swooping Julian Erosa off of his feet. He was getting up, couldn't move. He was, bro. I wish I could show you the amount of effort he was throwing into the punches towards Julian Erosa. Julian Erosa would have him up against the cage, kind of like grabbing out at his head, and Le'Veon Douglas was like throwing like a madman in the pocket. And he wasn't even landing, but he was just throwing hook, uppercut, right hand, left hand, hook. He was just throwing crazy shit to get Julian Erosa off of him. And then he would back him up, low kick, back him up, land a stiff jab. He landed 4, like how people used to talk about Kamaru Usman's jab back in the day. How people used to say, man, Kamaru Usman's got the best jab in the sport. His jab is like a fucking piston. His jab hurts. Excuse me. That's how Le'Veon Douglas was. He threw 2, 3, it might have been 3. He threw 3 jabs at Julian Erosa, and Julian Erosa literally fell down off of 3 straight jabs. He jabbed them. Julian Erosa fell back. He fell down, got knocked down. Le'Veon was like, come on. Walking forward, jab. Julian Erosa flies back against the cage. The cage keeps him up. Okay, come on. We walking back forward. Another jab. Same thing. Cage catches him. Then he just follows up. Left hand, right hand, hook. Boom, boom, boom. And then Julian Erosa's like on his feet or on his knees, kind of like on his shins, kind of just out of it, basically. The ref was letting him go. And Julian Erosa just comes up and boom, puts him out. Le'Veon Douglas, I am a fan. I cannot wait until your next fight. You should have gotten a performance bonus on this card, my brother. I'm sorry. I'm yawning, man. It's 11:17. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Whew. Almost done. Michael Chiesa versus Nico Price. Another. It's not even a rigged fight. It was a layup. Nico Price goes in for a takedown on Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa just doesn't get taken down by Nico Price. It's Nico Price. And then Michael Chiesa gets his own. He gets the body lock on the back. He jumps on the back of Nico Price, tries to get a rear naked choke. Nico Price tries to dump Michael Chiesa on his head. Doesn't work. Michael Chiesa gets the back. Easy rear naked choke. Nico Price doesn't even try to fight the hands. Over in a minute. Not much to talk about. This was Chiesa's last fight. He got a fucking layup in his retirement fight because he didn't sue the UFC for Conor breaking his fucking face with the dolly. And Nico Price tried to retire at the end of this fight too, stupidly, and no one paid him any mind. He didn't get any announcement or anything. He laid his gloves down. I'm glad he did because he sucks. Nico Price is horrible. He cannot fight. I think a regular civilian genuinely could beat him in a fight. A regular civilian. Nico Price couldn't hurt a fucking fly. He couldn't hurt a butterfly. Nico Price couldn't hurt your grandmother. He sucks. He sucks. And Michael Chiesa's retired. So that was that. Alexa fucking Grasso, first of all, both of these women are fucking beautiful. Like, oh, you didn't know? No, I'm trolling. I'm trolling. I gotta keep my glasses off for this. Alexa Grasso is a beautiful human being. I love Alexa Grasso. She is a beautiful human being. She is shit at fighting. I picked her to lose this fight because she's looked dog shit in her last two performances. Her last three, really. But her last two performances, she's looked dog shit. But she's a beautiful human being. I can't stop looking at her. Man, she looks really good. But I digress. These women start off throwing at each other. They're actually like trading in the pocket every once in a blue moon. They're not really landing much of substance, but Alexa's getting the better of the exchanges for sure. She's landing the better shots. Story of the fight, they're both southpaw. Alexa steps in, one left hand straight down the pipe. It sleeps Macy Barber, and in the most, all I can describe it is in the most like King Cobra way possible. As Macy Barber's like on one knee, just unconscious, Alexa Grasso jumps on her back like that. She jumps on her back like that. Rear naked choke, and like in a second, Macy Barber just like, and the ref obviously ends the fight. He calls off the fight. One of the craziest finishes in MMA history, probably the greatest finish in women's MMA history, outside of like Valentina's head kick over Jessica Ai, or Amanda Nunes KOing Cyborg, or Holly Holm KOing Ronda Rousey. Like, it was up there with one of those. It was so slick. It was just coming in, right hand, left hand, jump on the back, or just kill her basically, and then jump on the back. 1 second rear naked choke, fight's over. I love Alexa Grasso, man. She is man. Man, let me make sure she's not married. I don't want to be talking about a married. I don't want to be talking about a married woman like that. Yeah, she's not married, so she's fucking. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Can I show you a picture? Hold on. I wonder if I can show a picture. Look at that. This is how Macy Barber was at the end. What the fuck is that? This is how Macy Barber was laid out at the end of the fight. Just laid out cold. She was really doing some. I saw this tweet. MMA Guru tweeted out. She was being really performative about how she took that loss. She was being performative. She was. She didn't have to lay out that long. She was like laid out with her arms out, like fucking T-posing, looking up, blinking and shit like that, rapidly blinking, but like just with her eyes open. Everybody's just looking like, what the fuck is going on? Is she dead? She was being performative as fuck. Great win for Alexa Grasso. I don't know what this does for her. She's not going to fight Valentina again, but that's a great, crazy win for Alexa Grasso. One of the greatest KOs I've ever seen in my life. Or one of the greatest KOs, especially in women's MMA. Izzy, no. Izzy, no. Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer, man. Again, if you've ever watched this channel, you know I hate Israel Adesanya with a burning passion. My soul burns. It doesn't burn. My soul yearns to hate on Israel Adesanya. I hate him. 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 I picked him to win this fight. I was rooting for him to win this fight. Do you think it's because I don't like Joe Pyfer? No. It's because I wanted Israel Adesanya around so he could get a win, so people could start talking about him, and so he could lose again, and I could see him continue to fail. But genuinely, as an Alex Pereira fan, watching Israel Adesanya lose over and over and over again, it's just almost pathetic at this point. Like, it's not fun anymore. Excuse me. When he lost to Strickland, that was like peak. When he lost to Dricus, peak. Lost to Mavov, peak. But now I just want him to win because I want him to stick around. It's always a spectacle when he fights at this point. Since he's fought Alex, it's been like, I can't miss an Israel Adesanya fight. Before, his fights were dog shit. But since he fought Alex, it's always like, okay, Izzy's fighting. You feel something when Izzy fights. Even if you hate him, you love him, you're indifferent about him, you know you want to tune in if you're an MMA fan to watch Israel Adesanya fight. I said all that to say, what the fuck was he doing? What the fuck was Israel Adesanya's game plan here? What the fuck was CKB's game plan here? What the fuck is that fat Samoan-looking coach's game plan? What the fuck is Israel Adesanya doing? Round one, Joe Pyfer and Israel Adesanya. Man, I'm glad I'm not a fan of him because I'd have been pissed by this performance, man. Izzy is so much better than Joe Pyfer on the feet, man. So much better than him. Izzy's landing outside low kicks, just chopping low. Joe Pyfer can't check a low kick to save his life. He threw the first low kick and it was so slow. He spun himself around. It was so slow. Izzy was landing clearly the better low kicks inside and out. He was landing all the better shots. He would do that delayed jab where he like up jabs here. It's like a shovel. It's an up jab, and because jabs are like this, his jab goes like that, and he throws the right hand out, kind of delayed. He did that a couple times, but Israel Adesanya was, ooh, my hip's about to pop. Ooh, my hip's about to pop. It's not okay. Fuck me. Izzy was landing the better shots in round one. Joe tried to bum rush him and get over-unders against the cage. He tried to take him down, but Izzy was good. She was strong with it. He wasn't getting taken down. Izzy pieces him up. Not pieces him up, but Izzy's outworking him clearly in round one. He clearly won the first round. It was clear what the game plan should have been. I just farted. It was clear what the game plan should have been. Chop low. You don't have devastating power. I don't have power in my hands. Izzy don't have power. He KO'd a weight-drained Alex Pereira. He does not have power. He doesn't have power. Izzy doesn't have power. When you don't have power and you rely on movement and you have good low kicks, just fucking low kick, you idiot. Round two, Izzy's back with the low kicks. Back low kicking. And he low kicked and Joe Pyfer took a weird step to where you realized that you knew his shit was hurting, but he was masking it well. Joe's landing a couple strikes here and there, but it's not much. Now the fight changes, so Izzy pushes Joe Pyfer's face, and this part of his hand goes in his eye like that. There's a break. Break resumes. Izzy's landing the better strikes here. Izzy has been landing the better strikes. He's been avoiding the big strikes the entire time. There's been one big punch that Joe Pyfer threw that somewhat landed, and Izzy took it well. That was in the first round. Every time Joe Pyfer threw, it was heavy, by the way. Everything he threw was looking to take Izzy's head off, and he just couldn't land because he's not really technical. But round two, after the eye poke stop timeout, they resume. Izzy hurts Joe Pyfer. I do think he hurts Joe Pyfer. He lands a good right hand over the top. He tries to go in. Excuse me. He goes into like a fucking... Oh, he also landed a good knee to the head on Joe in round one. I don't know how Joe didn't fall to that. But he lands a good right hand over the top. He's got Joe on the back foot coming up against the cage. He's like digging into the body like Alex Pereira. And... with a hook, and it's just like, why are you doing that? Why are you deviating away from the plan in round two? It's round two. It looked like Izzy was trying to go for a finish or trying to be aggressive, and he's not an aggressive fighter. He's not. Izzy's not an aggressive fighter. Every time he's tried to be aggressive, he gets bitched. Every time. He's a back foot fighter. Fight on the back foot. He got aggressive with Joe Pyfer, and he was wading in, and he did this stupid thing. Joe hit him. Joe hit him with a shot, and you could see Joe's steam was coming off of his hands a little bit. But so Izzy got confident. He tried to go in. Izzy threw a punch. He comes back, and Joe he hits him. Izzy does one of these. He fucking looks away, comes back, 1-2, trying to land. And then Joe, like, does a quick left hook, just like a quick check left hook. Hits Izzy. Izzy's face goes. Izzy's coming back forward, but he's still, like, on the front foot trying to throw. And then Joe's landing shots coming backwards. And then Izzy goes on the back foot because he's fucking hurt, because he's trying to tee off on Joe Pyfer right now for no reason. No reason. It's not like Joe was about to be finished or anything. He looked like he was hurting a little bit, and Izzy thought he could capitalize on the moment early in fucking round two, mid-round two. Joe lands a couple strikes, clearly hurts Izzy, backs him up against the cage, beating him up. What the fuck is that? Beating him up, takes him down, lands in half guard, immediately goes to mount. Izzy turns around. Joe tries to RNC, doesn't get the RNC, gets a back mount, and then just pounding away on the side of the head, and it's over. Man, I wanted Israel Adesanya to win this fight just so I can continue hating on him, and I didn't want him to retire. He's not retiring, but I thought he was better than Joe Pyfer. I still think he's better than Joe Pyfer. I think 8 times out of 10 he beats Joe Pyfer. I don't think he beats Imavov 8 times out of 10. I know he doesn't beat Dricus 8 times out of 10. I know he doesn't beat Strickland 8 times out of 10. I know he doesn't beat Pereira 8 times out of 10. He beats Joe Pyfer 8 times out of 10. He's a better fighter than Joe Pyfer is, for sure. For sure. It's not like I'm saying, oh, he got caught. He was just being dumb. He was being dumb about his entrances. He was being dumb about his distance. It was just very dumb, and it was very dumb for Israel Adesanya. But good win for Joe Pyfer. I don't want to take everything away from him, but I have to give my opinion like I want to be honest about how I feel. It was very dumb by Israel Adesanya. But Joe Pyfer's top 5 now. Give him Caio Borralho. But otherwise, it was a great card. Absolutely great card. They gave away bonuses, and they gave them to to Joe Pyfer and Alexa Grasso. And then they gave the fight of the night to a cheating bitch. Anyway, don't give Casey O'Neill a bonus. Don't give Navajo Sterling a bonus. Don't give Lance Gibson Jr. a bonus. Not Terrence McKinney. Don't give Usuri a performance. Don't give Le'Veon Douglas a performance in his debut. Give the two of the 5 richest fighters on the card, give them the bonus. That's all I got for y'all. I'm sorry for the yawns. I'm tired as fuck. The glasses are blue light. I don't need glasses. Knock on wood right now. But stay tuned for the rest of my uploads. Like the video and subscribe if you like the video. I need to call my bed. My bed's calling. Have a great night.